Hello everybody, I'm back and I am back with another book review. And can you guess the book? Midnight's Children. Finally I'm back with this book, and let me tell you, it's a 5 star. And I'm gonna talk a lot about this book. I generally talk quite a lot about any and every book kind of, but this book is super special. First of all, it is the first 5 star of this year, and this book is super special. This is my first Salman Rushdie, and I loved the book. It's like amazing. It's a masterpiece. Okay, and it got the award Booker of Bookers. Okay, so before I get into the chapters and all the details of this book, let me tell you how happy I am to get this book. I am super happy that I have finished it. It took me so long. Like it took me 9 months to finish this book. I know, super long, but do I care? I do not, because I have a certain kind of reading speed, and I think that's where individuality lies, right? Okay, and this book I got it. Oh, wait, sorry. So I got this book last year. During June, right? And then I started reading it probably from September or August or September, and yeah, it has been probably 10 to 11 or 9 to 10 months. I'm not calculating. And as I mentioned, it took quite a lot of time. I will talk about the technicality of the book and how it is written and everything. The chapter wise discussion I will also do, because I love this book so much. It is amazing. You should read it. It's like a masterpiece. And by the way, before we continue with other stuff, let me tell you, I love this cover. When I ordered the book, I really wanted to get this cover only because there are other covers, but I like this one the most. Like, can you see? Yeah, this is also significant. And look at the detailing; it's so good. It is done by the cover illustration is done by Sroop Sunar, or you can just say SRW, SRWP, Saroop or Sroop, I guess. So, sir, you did a great job. Okay, so before reading the blurb, let me tell you a bit of the reviews. Okay, New York Times said the literary map of India has been redrawn. Midnight's Children sounds like a continent finding its voice. So, as much as I like the review, it's like when you read a review like this, you feel wow, literary map of India has been redrawn. Continent finding its voice. How enlightening is it? But honestly, I mean, I think it is New York Times limitation. Did they read all the book that is written in our continent, in our country? I do not know. I mean, I should be less critical, but I cannot be really. I mean, I adore this book, and this book deserves every sort of appreciation. And I mean, I do not think I will be exaggerating when I will be saying that probably Salman Rushdie is one of the greatest writer of our times. Like everybody says that, but I am not saying that because of everybody. I am saying that after reading this book, it's not about the content only. The content is great, it's super interesting. If you are into history, just read this right now. But it's about the way it is written. It's beautiful. I mean, amazing. It's amazing. It got the Booker of Bookers for a reason. Generally, I do not evaluate a book according to the awards that it got, and I am also not evaluating this one on the basis this title, that Booker of Bookers winner, because I ordered this. When I ordered this, I didn't even know that something like this actually exists, like Booker of Bookers. But now I know, and it's like this book is the greatest. Okay, I know not the greatest, but yeah, one of the greatest. That I can say. So yeah, so that's like I am like everybody should completely be enamored with this book. It's so beautiful. It's a piece of art, and it's amazing. I need more adjectives, I feel. Anyway, so, Sunday Times is writing huge, vital, engrossing, in all senses, a fantastic book. I agree. I agree with this one. And also, Atlantic wrote an almost unbearably imaginative and critically acclaimed epic of modern India. And I wholeheartedly agree with this part, because uh, let me tell you, this book is a book which which has the technique called magic realism. So magic realism means you will find realism there, but there are also other magical elements, right? There will be magical elements, and those will not, you will not feel that, oh my god, these are not ordinary stuffs. You will not feel unusual because it will be blended with the text in such a way that you will feel, oh, like it's a part of the text only. That's what you will feel. I mean, that's what I felt. And if you want more clarity regarding that topic, you can watch a film called Midnights in Paris. That's a fun film. And if you are a literature student, or if you are like slightly interested into classic literature or literature, or you should watch it. It has all those OGs, right? Eliot, Gertrude Stein, then there is Fitzgerald and all this. Like, it's super interesting. It also includes some Paris, Alice and all. So it's beautiful. Watch the film. Anyway, I did promotion for Woody Allen. Free promotion. Anyway, let's come back to our book. There is also another great magic realist novella by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, 100 Years of Solitude. Let me check the name. I just saw that. Yeah, 100 Years of Solitude. And after reading this one, after loving this one so much, I feel that I need to read that one as well, right? So yeah, that's one thing. Now let's start. So as I mentioned, so I think this was Salman Rushdie's debut novella, and I think so because when I read the introduction, it was written there. But he has written, what should I say? He has written extensively. There are many books by him. Let me name some of his fiction work, called Grimace, Shame, the Satanic Verses. If you know, not recent history, but if you know Salman Rushdie, if you know the Satanic Verses, you know what happened due to Satanic Verses. Not gonna elaborate. Then Harun and the Sea of Stories. Then East West, The Mood's Last Sigh, The Ground Beneath Her Feet, Fury, Shalimar the Clown, The Enchantress of Florence, Luca, and The Fire of Life. And if you ask me, Lanjana, what do you want to read next? I would like to read all of them. But one thing is a bit of a concern, that is the length, because as I mentioned already, it took me quite a long time to finish this one. Because of this book, as it was taking me a long period of time, I included the concept of reading two books simultaneously, because before that I never did that, right? I was reading only single book at a time. But yeah, that's why I'm in two minds. But maybe when I will visit a library or a bookshop, like physical bookshops, that's when maybe I will check the blouts and all, and then I will order it, uh, regarding the size and everything. But yeah, I want to read more Salman Rushdie. There is no doubt about it, right? So yeah, and yeah, so there is a beautiful uh, introduction to that. Of course, introduction to this book. Read this one. That's great. It was the introduction ended. Let me tell you, it's like a 9 pages long introduction. Yeah, it was written. It is written in 2005 while Rushdie was in London, and the introduction itself tells you like the way of writing. It's beautiful. Okay, yeah, so that this is another thing, and also another thing is the, I feel that this book has the epic quality. Like, as I just read Atlantic's review, like, epic of modern India, quote unquote, and I truly believe that one, because it's like it has the epic quality, I feel. Though it is written in a very autobiographical form, the book is written that way. Anyway, so you will get the introduction, and it's like beautiful. Read this one, and it will give you idea about Rushdie, because before reading this one, I do not even know why I ordered this one. I mean, this is a famous book, this is an important book, you have to read it if you are reading literature, and these are there. But I think after reading some, maybe after hearing my professors talk about it, after hearing their discussion, probably I went for this one, probably because I got it last year June, right? So yeah, now let's start. Okay, so this book has, I mean, this is a single book, but the story is divided in three books: book 1, book 2, and book 3, and there are multiple chapters. Okay, and every chapter's title has a significance of its own. But before that, let me give you a small bit. So this book reads like an autobiography of Salim Sinai, who born who was born at the stroke of midnight, when India achieved its freedom, right? India got its freedom. Uh, 15th August, 12 a.m. That's right? Yeah, 1947. And he he doesn't begin his story from the time of his birth. He begins his story from 1915, from his maternal grandfather's time, when his maternal grandfather was in Kashmir. I'll go to that. Oh, I also let me just show you that, because this is something new. I haven't done this before, and I felt the need to do this. I will tell you. So yeah, so this starts from 1915 and it continues till like after emergency. When he was 31, that means 31 means I think 1947, right? There are three and seven. Yeah, 31. Right. So yeah, it's like around 1978 or 9 somewhere the story ends. Okay. So the time period is huge. It has the pre-independent India. It also has the newly independent India and new optimisms. You will get that word a lot in this book. Okay, another a bit of a thing that I want to tell you is that the book's language is not the easiest language that you will find in a fiction. Okay, there are certain words uh, which has meanings that I didn't know. So in that way, it also enriched my vocab, which is great, honestly. But yeah, that I want to tell you. But other than that, like read it. Initially, for me, like the initial 50 pages was very difficult, because like I couldn't make sense of what is happening in the book. It was like difficult to comprehend because I didn't have any idea about the book. I was like, what is happening? What is there? How will magic realism come in here? Why is he talking about his grandfather? How is it connected? And also there is like, the past present thing. Sometimes the story is going on in flashbacks. Sometimes the story is continuing in the present time. So it was a bit confusing initially, but after completing 100 pages, I understood the way it was done, right? And yeah, and by the way, let me show you. This is what I have done with the tabs. And if you put tabs, I think you know this strip. So this single strip, there are a few more left. Actually, I haven't annotated. I did underline, but I haven't annotated this. Sorry, this much. So whatever, yeah, this much. I haven't put any tab here, so I think these will be used. So I used 3/4 of this tab in this book, and I think that tells you how much I was like surprised, and how much I enjoyed this book, right? And how much information this book has, right? Where was I? It like there is so many things. I'm trying to do it one by one, right? Okay. So yeah, what I did, let me show you. Um, it is actually a sketch book, but I used it to do something else. I made a legit family tree of Midnight's Children. That I did. I have never done this before for any novels. Like I have started doing one thing, that is writing down the character's name at the end of the book. That helps. But family tree, really? No, I haven't done this. Okay, so that is another thing, and I think I should get into the story. But before that, let me read you the blurb. Born at the stroke of midnight, at the precise moment of India's independence, Salim Sinai, he is the main character, as I mentioned, it is his autobiography. He is writing it when he is almost 31. Yeah. So Salim Sinai is destined from birth to be special, for he is one of 1001 children born in the midnight hour, children who all have special gifts, children with whom Salim is telepathically linked. But there has been a terrible mix up at birth, and Salim's life takes some unexpected twists and turns. As he grows up amidst a whirlwind of triumphs and disasters, Salim must learn the ominous consequences of his gift, for the course of his life is inseparably tied to that of his motherland, and his every act is mirrored and magnified in the events that shape the newborn nation of India. It is a great gift and a terrible burden. Beautiful blurb, and I read that, and I didn't understand it when I started reading it. Yeah, so let's start. Do you want me to read the family tree first? Okay, let's read the family tree first. So, as I mentioned, the book starts from 1950, and the book starts with. Which I dropped something. Yeah. So the book started with Adam, or yeah, Aziz and Nasim Aziz. So Adam Aziz is the grandfather of Salim Sinai, and he was staying in Kashmir, and he later married Nasim Aziz, who will be later known as Reverend Mother. So Nasim Aziz and Adam Aziz they marry each other, and they had one, two, three, four, five children: Alia, Mumtaz, Emerald, Mustafa, and Hanif. Two boys and three girls. Alia Aziz, she will remain unmarried throughout her life, because the man who loved her initially ended up marrying her sister Mumtaz, whose name will be changed to Amina, and Amina is the mother of Salim Sinai. But guess what? Amina is actually not the mother of Salim Sinai. Then there is Emerald. Emerald will marry a general, Zulfikar, who will go to Pakistan. Then there is Mustafa, who will become a civic servant in independent India, whose wife will be Sonia. And Hanif will end up becoming a film producer in Mumbai, and he will marry a film star, film actress Pia. Right. So Mumtaz will be Mumtaz, like, yeah, Adam Aziz, so Adam Aziz's daughter. She will marry. Initially, she will marry Nadim Khan, who was a not a freedom fighter, but who was a like a liberal, not liberal, but yeah, like who was a person who was very optimistic that he can bring some actual change in the society. And guess what happened to him? He was living the what should I say? He was living at the house of the Azizes, and there he ended up marrying Mumtaz. But Mumtaz and Nadim, they couldn't have children, so Mumtaz's father makes sure that Mumtaz has children, and he uh, tells Mumtaz to marry Ahmed Sinai, who was totally trying to marry Mumtaz. And that's how Mumtaz's name changes to Amina, and she becomes Amina Sinai. How cool is that, isn't it? A woman must change her name. How beautiful. Anyway, so Mumtaz and Ahmed, they had two children, like they have two children, Brass Monkey, or Jamila Sinai, and Salim Sinai. Except Salim Sinai is not their actual son, because do you remember the mix up from the blurb? Because Salim Sinai was actually someone else's son, and someone mixed, someone intentionally shifted this place, and Salim came into the Sinai household, and that's how he became Salim Sinai. It is already confusing, I know. And yeah, Salim's actual father is William Methold. I think that's how you are supposed to pronounce it. And Vanita Willy Winky. Yeah, Vanita Willy Winky is a, what should I say? He's like a entertainer who goes door to door entertaining, that sort of person's wife. And Methold is a very rich, uh, of course, Englishman who had a very good villa kind of a thing in Mumbai, where Amina and Ahmed goes, and they start living there. You know what I feel? You are not getting anything that I'm telling. So there is no point of telling this anymore. But yeah, this is the story. Like this is their like family tree. There are more. So let me tell you chapter wise. You got a bit of idea, right? So the first chapter is the perforated sheet. Perforated sheet is the chapter uh, where Adam Aziz meets Nasim Aziz, and then after that we have mercurochrome. Okay, so Adam Aziz meets Nasim Aziz in Kashmir. Then they shipped to Delhi. Not Delhi, maybe they were sometimes they are in Allahabad or somewhere. Anyway, they finally come back to Delhi. I mean, they didn't come back. They settle in Delhi. Okay, and there is mercurochrome. So this chapter also has the story of the pre-independent India, where protests, riots, these are going on and on and on. And also in this chapter, Salim's grandfather and grandmother, Nasim Aziz and Adam Aziz's relationship starts having a bit of cracks. Okay, the distance starts growing. Then we have hit the spittoon. So hit the spittoon, this chapter has the details where like the spittoon, you know, where people spit. Yeah, that's a container. So that spittoon, in that spittoon, like it is shown how the spittoon is connected with history, how the spittoon is connected with the, you know, class division of the society. So that this chapter has those. And also this chapter talks about actually Adam Aziz was very much optimistic about India and its independence and everything, which is super interesting. And he had like he was following a certain kind of ideology, which is propagated by Mia Abdullah, who he wanted our nation to be, you know, good, not divided like that way. So he like, I mean, not Pakistan division. I'm not talking about it. Like there are details. Read that. Okay. So yeah, there is and also there is a game called Hit the Spitting. That means men are sitting like right now we have mobile phone, TV, and all this. But at that time they didn't have multiple means of entertainment. So Hit the Spitting used to be a game through which they spent their free time. Yeah, not always, but yeah, sometimes. Then there is the under the carpet. Right, under the carpet is the part where you can see Nadeem, yeah, not Nadeem, yeah, Nadeem Khan. Is it Nadeem Khan? Nadeem Khan. So Nadeem Khan is also a partner of Alam Aziz's optimistic disease, or disease of optimism, as Salim Sinai mentions it. So basically, Adam Aziz wanted India to be a very, you know, proper nation with proper things, but like not only India, it is quite impossible to have anything proper or anything in order. Yeah, let's not talk about the social scenario of the day. But yeah, so Nadeem Khan was a partner, but Nadeem Khan was not the, you know, friend of Adam Aziz. He was like a known person. So when Mia Abdullah was shot dead and Mia Abdullah was attacked, Nadeem Khan skipped the space and he asked Adam Aziz for shelter, and that's why he was living there. And that's how Mumtaz and Nadeem Khan, they got married. But yeah, no child came out of the marriage. That's why Adam Aziz cancelled the marriage. And yeah, I told you, Mumtaz married Ahmed Sinai, or Ahmed Sinai married Mumtaz. Then there is a like there it is called a public announcement. Now this chapter is important because in the public announcement denotes the part where Mumtaz, or now Amina, after marriage she got the name Amina. So Amina announced publicly that she is pregnant. There are situations due to which she did this. You will get to know when you read it. Is it there in this chapter? Let me just check once. No. Then comes many-headed monsters. So many-headed monsters, this chapter has multiple aspects. So basically there is one part where Ahmed Sinai's new business related venture fails miserably. So yeah, that's a monstrous thing, as Salim Sinai describes. And yeah, that's one of the monstrous things. And later we come to the prophecy that will actually lead the whole story of Salim Sinai. So Amina Sinai, when she tells the world that she is pregnant, there is a what is the term? Lifafa Das, he's a peep show star or something like that. Let me check. Mm, Dilli Dekho is, we talked about it. Wait. Where is it? I cannot find it right now. Duniya Dekho. Wait. So, here it is. I mean, he Dug Dugi drama, no? Where it is? He was like a street vendor, I guess. Magical rattle of Lifafa Das. So Lifafa Das was a person, like as a not vendor, like he showed multiple things. There is a term for that one. I cannot find that one. Wow. Yeah. Anyway, so Lifa actually yeah, whatever. So it's pre-independent India, and right. Okay, so Lifafa Das, who was a Hindu person, and when he entered the alleys where Amina was living, some people attacked him, in a particular way, and the political, not political, actually, the religion-based tension that was there. So to save that person, Amina announced that she is pregnant and she is giving that person shelter. So as the return gift or something like that, Lifafa told Amina that you can come and I will tell, like you will get to know the future, prophecy kind of a thing. So Amina goes to with Lifafa Das near Red Fort to Ram Ram Sheth. So Ram Ram Sheth is a what is he? I mean, like he's a, what should I say, not astrologer, like the not the astrologer of proper kind, but yeah, you can think of him like tantra and all this kind of thing. So he's actually a soothsayer, I guess. Yeah, that's what it is written over here. Let me just check. Yeah, soothsayers prophesied me in January 1947. My mother Amina Sinai was offered a gift of a prophecy in return gift of her gift of a life, as I mentioned. Soothsayer. So Ram Ram Seth is a soothsayer. So generally, it is believed like they are not true. This astrology kind of thing is not true. But here the prophecy is super interesting. When Ram Ram Sheth meet Amina Sinai, he goes into frenzy, and prophecy he just utters the prophecy of Salim Sinai's life. Let me just read it out. Okay. He's a fortune teller. Okay. A son, such a son, Sahiba, who will never be older than his motherland, neither older nor younger. Can you see? He born at the stroke of midnight. Okay. There will be two heads, but you shall see only one. You shall see only one. There will be knees and nose, and a nose and knees. So, if you want me to decode it for you, I can tell you the nose means the nose of Salim Sinai, and the knees means the knees of Shiva, who is actually the son of Amina Sinai. But I told you there's a mix-up at birth. So his X factor was knees, and Salim's X factor will become his nose. Okay. Then newspaper praises him. Two mothers raise him. Bicyclists love him, but crowds will shove him. Sisters will weep. Cobra will creep. Washing will hide him. Voices will guide him. Friends Mutilate him, blood will betray him. Yes. Yes. Spittoons will brain him, doctors will drain him, jungle will claim him, wizards reclaim him, soldiers will try him, tyrants will fry him. It's like this prophecy is the core of the book, according to me. Then he will have sons without having sons. He will be old before he is old, and he will die before he is dead. Actually, after finishing the book, I am yet to decode the last part. Like, he will die before he is dead. So that's it. But all the other prophecy, as you read through the book, you will understand. Like, yeah, this prophecy is, oh, he prophesied this one. Oh, this is how it is turning to be truth. It's like, it's magnificent. Okay, I can actually decode the whole prophecy for you, but I'm not gonna do. Like, this prophecy is the core of the book. That's something I can tell you. Can you tell I am already super excited? Anyway, where was I? Yeah, I was describing the chapters. Okay. So that was the many-headed monsters, and this chapter had the prophecy. Where is the? Yeah. Okay. Next, I have method. Okay. So now, so Amina Sinai and Ahmed Sinai, they were living in Delhi. Okay, as I mentioned, Red Fort. So after, like, when before Salim's birth, and as Ahmed Sinai's business fails there, they decide to go to Bombay, and they come there, like, they go there, and there they buy Method's, like, a particular part of Method's villa. Method, who is the actual father of Salim Sinai. But while reading the book, the concept of real and, fake, it gets mixed up. I feel super confused. Like, should I call Amina his mother, Salim's mother, or should I not call him? How can I not call? I mean, how can should I call Amina Salim's mother, or should I not call her? Because it's super confusing, honestly. Very well said. Right. So yeah, method means the method state, and here you can get the description of all the characters, like all the neighbors that Salim had, and then there is TikTok, and this TikTok, this chapter has the moment of his birth. Beautiful. Then there is the fisherman's pointing finger, and this chapter had the details, like right after his birth. There is a picture over his head where a fisherman points a finger. So yeah, this chapter is named after that. Then snakes and ladders. Snakes and ladders. This chapter had sorry. This chapter had multiple stuffs, like how in the game of life there is always a snake for a ladder and a ladder for a snake. It is about the situations that were happening in Mumbai, in India, in the history, everything, and many things actually. There is the exact moment of birth. Like, I have done, like, I have noted, I have underlined, I have highlighted a bit of it, and so many things going had been going on there. Yeah. Okay, let's not dive this. Okay, then after that, accident in a washing chest. So now I will tell you a bit about the story, of course. So, accident in the washing chest, this chapter is also very important, because this is, in this chapter, through a particular incident, Salim starts to understand that he can actually read what is going on in the mind of other people. Initially, it starts with the people around him. Then he actually traveled in the mind of the political leaders of the country. And later in the story, we will see that this ability of Salim is limited to the boundary of India. Yes, post-independent India. Then there is All India Radio, and this chapter I am having a bit of hard time remembering what is there in this chapter, but I think I will remember 129. Yeah. No. Salim Din, Salim the person blessing of reading and Salim. Okay. So in this chapter he talks about the minds of the strangers. Oh yeah, got it. Okay, so in this chapter it is called All India Radio, because Salim could actually travel through minds across India. whatever whoever is thinking, as I mentioned, right? So that's why it is all India radio. Yeah. Then Love in Bombay. Love in Bombay, I think it is about EV ones. Let me check. 249. There are 30 to 1 chapters, just like the age of Salim Sinai when he would die. Just give me a moment of it. Yeah, right. Yeah, it is like Salim's first crush kind of a thing. EV burns. So Salim, till this moment, he suddenly got a supernatural ability, that is reading another person's mind, what is going on in their mind. So it was there. Now in this chapter, while following EV burns, Salim would hear, like, after a particular incident. This book is full of incident. Okay, so after a particular incident, Salim could hear the voices of other midnight children in his mind, and that would lead to midnight children, yeah, midnight children's conference, MCC. And at the end of the story, it will have its own significance. I'll go to that. So there he will go, and like there he will there yeah, there, and slowly he will understand the aspects of his superpower. There is something is written over here, let me tell you. Yeah, yeah, right, right. Okay. So actually, if Salim wanted, he could just like not only read the minds, he could go quite deep in the human mind. That's what he learns. And yeah, like, oh, by the way, one thing I forgot to mention. So when the story starts, Salim was actually he is writing the autobiography, but he's also telling the story to Padma. Padma is a, what should I say? Padma is a companion to Salim. We will know more about her. He actually, right now, like when Salim was writing this, he was in a pickle factory. He was working there, and he had Padma as his companion, and he was telling Padma the story of his life. Right. Then my 10th birthday. Then his 10th birthday comes, and there are new things. Mm, yeah. And yeah, after his 10th birthday, when he was 10 years old, these midnight children, how many are there, what are their special powers, everything is written. Not everybody's, of course. Some of them died before Salim became 10 years old, and before he could connect all the children across the country. So there are probably 400 and some children left. So yeah, you could find the description here. And the important children out of those are, like, the main three are Salim Sinai, Shiva, and Parvati the witch. Okay, there are others as well, many actually, but anyway, I will not discuss that. Then at the Pioneer Cafe. So now after this, after my 10th birthday, the chapter is called at the Pioneer Cafe. So in this cafe, Salim goes following his mother, and he finds out that his mother is having an illicit relationship with Nadim Khan. Yeah, Nadim Khan. Do you remember Nadim Khan? His mother's first husband, who is now named Kasim. So yeah, he didn't catch them red-handed. He just got to see that. Okay, and there are more to it. And now finally, Alpha and Omega. So in this chapter, Alpha and yeah, right. In this chapter, Alpha and Omega, Salim's mutilation. Yeah, I think that is it is. Yeah, mutilation happens, right? And yeah, by the way, Salim's father's condition declines a lot. There are many reasons. Mhm, yeah, yeah, yeah. Mhm, right, right. Where is it? Kasim Nadi Kasim. Yeah, that I know. Where is it? Yeah, Alpha and Omega. He was like mutilated. Uh, mm, for purpose. Oh, a lot about midnight children as well. Okay, there is yes. The first mutilation of Salim Sinai, which was rapidly followed by the second, took place on one Wednesday early in 1958. So you can see like the mutilation. So basically, yeah, two mutilations, painful ones that happens, and leads that leads to the secret that Salim is not the actual child of Amina Sinai and Salim Ahmed Sinai, because Salim's blood group doesn't match with any of them. That is one thing. Wait, wait, wait. Yeah. Have you got a second? I can't hear it properly. OA. Oh, yes. Alpha Omega means OA, like it's regarding the blood group. And Ahmed Sinai starts starts having suspicion against Amina Sinai, thinking maybe Amina did something wrong and it is not his son, and that's how Salim is sent to stay with his uncle Hanif and Pia. So the next chapter is called the Colinos Kid. It is actually this name, chapter's name is coming from an ad which is there in those not billboard, I guess, like in those banners in Bombay at the time. Then we have Commander Sabarmati's baton. Sabarmati. So in this part you get to see how Salim is using his gift. Okay, so Commander Sabarmati's baton it talks about one what's the term, extramarital affair between two people, and how the woman's husband uh, shots both his wife and the and wife's illicit lover, and that wife dies, and the illicit lover he leaves, I guess, and how the whole trial goes on and everything, and how Salim is convicted. Oh, by the way, another thing I would like to tell you seriously, that this what is the term? Yes, this all the incidents of the story, Salim will always blame himself. He will be like, oh, this happened because of me. This was my fault. Like, he will continue doing that, okay? Do not get surprised. Then Revelations, okay. Revelations is the chapter where, so let me tell you a bit of the story, okay? So, the mix-up that happened during 1947, 15th August, 12 a.m. after their birth. It was done by a nurse at the hospital or nursing home where Salim and Shiva was born, and it was done intentionally by Mary Pereira. Pereira, I guess, yes. Mary Pereira, she did it to wow, to make her dead crush or lover, yeah, make her dead beloved happy, because his dead beloved was a person who believed in equality, who didn't believe in classism, all this kind of division. So Mary Pereira, she changed the rich child with a poor child and the poor child with a rich child. So she changed the name tags. That's why Salim, who was supposed to go to, who was supposed to live in the slums, ended up living in a very good villa, and Shiva, who was actually destined to live in the villa, was sent to the slums. And Shiva is a very ruthless kind of a character. You will get to know more about him later. So Revelation is the chapter where Mary Pereira confesses her guilt. Oh, by the way, because of her guilt, after after she understood what she has done, she requests the Sinais to take her as their nanny, as Salim's nanny, right? Because she wanted to help the child. But she didn't tell them initially, of course. She didn't tell the Sinais what she did initially. However, later, finally, in this chapter, he tells, she uh, tells tells the truth. She exposes herself. Then there is the chapter called Movements Performed by Paper Boats. So after this revelation, Salim, Amina, and Salim's sister, Brass Monkey or Jamila, they go to Pakistan with their grandmother. By the way, their grandfather died long back. Okay, so they go to Pakistan, and Pakistan when the Ayub Khan, I guess. Let me just check the name. I love the history part in this book. Okay. So they start living with their aunt Emerald. I mentioned she married General Zulfikar, who went to Pakistan. I mentioned, so there they live at their house. Mm, right. Yeah. So Ghulam Muhammad Ayub Khan, I guess, who was dying. Yes. So um, Ayub Khan. So Ayub Khan became the president after seizing the power in Pakistan. I forgot that year. So yeah, General Ayub Khan became the president. So when Ayub Khan, like as Salim wrote here, when Ayub Khan and the General Zulfikar and other officials, like Pakistani officials, they were discussing about the seas, how they will take the power. Salim was present there, and he was moving the paper boats, right? That's the chapter name, moving of paper. Oh, not paper boats, sorry, paper pots. So they were using the paper pots as the type, like, have you seen, I think you have seen the design of any kind of attack or any kind of warfare. So they were using those as a symbol. So Salim was helping them to move those paper pots. So yeah, then we have drainage and the desert. So this movement of paper pots is there, and after that Salim, after so many things happen, Pakistan's rulership, no, ruler changes and all. Then finally, not finally, suddenly Amina gets a letter that Ahmed Sinai, who was left in Bombay, he is very sick. He's almost dying. So Amina couldn't just stay in Pakistan. She comes back to Bombay. She cures Ahmed Sinai, her husband, and then four of them, Amina, Ahmed, Jamila or Brass Monkey, and Salim, four of them they go to Pakistan. But before going, they do one thing. Like Salim always had uh, you know a nasal problem. So before going, they cure that problem. Okay. And as I told you, Salim had a gift of the midnight. He could read the mind. But oh, by the way, after going to Pakistan, he couldn't read the mind. Okay, that is there. So that was quite limited within India. Anyway, after coming back here, after coming back to Bombay, he could still read the mind. But due to this nasal operation or surgery that went on, Salim could finally breathe properly like normal human being. By the way, Salim had a very big nose, like cucumber nosed, or he was like called names because of his nose. Okay, that is another information. So Salim finally, like, his sinuses were fixed, and with that, this chapter is called Drainage and the Desert, because with that he lost his power of reading others' mind, and that's how his connection with the midnight children through his mind, that one was also lost there, right then and there. And sorry to disappoint you, he will never get that power back, right? But he's the special child of midnight. So though Salim stops having that power, he gets something new, that is a very strong nasal power. He could smell things, and he could just not only smell the spices and the pickles and the beautiful floral or bad smells, other bad smells. He could smell the jealousy, the rage, the love, the illegal stuff, the hatred, the danger. He could smell those. So do you remember the nose part of the prophecy? That is the nose. So next we have Jamila Singer. So Jamila is Brass Monkey, who is Salim's sister, and after coming to Pakistan on a particular day, suddenly everybody finds that Jamila had a beautiful voice, and she became the national singer of Pakistan. She will become that because her voice is beautiful. She sang of patriotism, beauty, innocence, and all this. And Salim was nothing like that. and how Salim achieved purity. So this chapter is super interesting because before that Salim, like in this part I feel very like I do not like this part a lot, but yeah, it is what it is. It is what happened with Salim. So Salim started having feelings with for Jamila. I know, incest, but again, can you truly call it a incest? Because Salim is not Jamila's biological brother. But can you truly call that Salim is not Jamila's brother? He is her brother. No, not biological, but still. I mean, that's what I wanted to say when I said I do not really get what is the true thing or what is the false thing anymore after reading the book. So Salim tells that to Jamila, and Jamila, of course, she was very uncomfortable with the fact and all this. And then comes the part where the 1965 war happens between India and Pakistan, and many things happened. And in that war, certain bomb or yeah, certain missile, not missile, yes, that was missile. So that was dropped on Pakistan, and in this story, Salim elaborates that all those dropped on the house of his relatives. That meant like Salim's Aunt Emerald and her family, and Aunt Alia, uh, Salim's reverend mother, and Aunt Pia. By the way, Uncle Hanif died in Bombay. Uh, before Salim and his family shifted to Pakistan, Uncle Hanif died. So Aunt Pia and Reverend Mother were living together. So everybody, every relative of Salim who were there in Pakistan, all of them died except Jamila. Jamila was very angry with Salim. She didn't like Salim liking her because she was uncomfortable, and I kind of understand that. So anyway, she enlisted her brother to military. She gave her brother to military, and yeah, and that's how Salim achieved purity. That means Salim almost lost everybody except one uncle who was there in Delhi, Mustafa, who was working as a civil servant under Indian government. Salim had nobody. And Jamila, yeah, Jamila almost abandoned him. Then, like, yeah, so there, like, how Salim achieved purity, there ends book 2. And then comes book 3. Book 3's first chapter is the Buddha, or you can also say the Buddha. So, by the way, here Buddha, the B is in small, lowercase. That means it is not the great Buddha, but it is like, it is also similar with the part of Buddha. Because when the chapter starts, like the elaborate, like the details, it feels like he is talking about the actual Buddha. Anyway, here Buddha or Buddha, I would rather call it Buddha. So Buddha means the old person, because Salim was growing old with times, like he was growing rapidly old, if I can say that. So in this chapter, we get to see that Salim is a part of a particular Kutia unit which was being prepared to attack Bangladesh for the 1971 war. Yes. And Salim was used there as a man dog because of his nasal powers, because Salim was not very strong from the physical part. So he was like, his nose was super. So he was used as a man dog. Very interesting, isn't it? And in this chapter, we also get to know about the 1971 war, Pakistan scenario, Bangladesh scenario, how Salim goes to Dhaka, and from Dhaka, he was in a particular unit with 3 boys, Ayuba, Shahid, and Farooq, I guess. Let me just check once. 481. Yes, Ayuba Baloch, Farooq Rashid, and Shahid Dar. So these 3 boys, and like they are very young. Okay, these 3 boys and Salim, they went together as the Kutia unit to Dhaka, and there they saw the, like, they fought, but they were not successful. They were almost defeated. So they escapes towards Sundarbans, because Salim says, let's go towards there, because he could smell something. So then they go to the Sundarbans. So Salim is back to India. This chapter is called In the Sundarbans, and there he like this chapter is like horror, full of horror, terror, not horror, terror I think is a better word. You get to see the supernatural power of nature. right? It's like, wow, I was feeling like, what's happening, what's happening, what's happening. So yeah, then there is the chapter called Sam the Tiger. So Sam and the Tiger. So the tiger means the Tiger Niaji from Pakistan, and Sam means Sam Makanshaw, who was a military officer of India, I believe. So yeah, in this chapter talks about how India, like, how Tiger Niazi, he surrendered her, and how India, Bangladesh got its independence, and how Salim finally came back to Dhaka. They were in Sundarbans. They were kind of trapped. They didn't understand what was happening, and they felt like they were almost dying. So they all four of them, they tried to come back to Dhaka, but two of them dies on the way. So Salim was there, like the Buddha, and he was there with Shahid, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, Shahid also eventually dies, and here in Dhaka, in this chapter, he meets Parvati the witch. So as I mentioned, Parvati the witch is a very important character here as well, because she's one of the Midnight children, and she was born in the magician's ghetto in Delhi, and she was born there. But you know what? Like, it is elaborated in the story that the magicians do not they didn't believe in magic. They did magic as a trick, but Parvati was gifted the you know with the power of actual magician. She was the true sorceress, right? That is there. So Parvati meets Salim, and she recognizes him, because they used to have those midnight children conference back then. He was 11 or 10, 11 or 12, something of that sort. So yeah, it was there. So Parvati puts Salim in the basket and does her magic, like the basket of invisibility, and she carries him to India with her. And next chapter is the shadow of the mosque. So Salim goes there, and Salim stays there for some times with Parvati, and Parvati was very welcoming. She was very happy to get a person who finally could understood her. Uh, However, Salim thought like he has a bigger duty to do. He has to do some social work for India, so that's why he goes to his uncle Mustafa's house, who was a civil servant for India, as I mentioned. But there, like, he couldn't stay for a really long time. He was there for 1 year. Then he was kind of kicked out due to some reasons, and then he ends up in the ghetto again. And there, the next chapter is called a wedding. So this wedding is the only wedding that Salim Sinai would have in his life, and this wedding is called like this wedding is, will be held between Salim Sinai and Parvati the witch. But there are so many twists out there. Just read that one, you will understand. Then there comes the midnight. The midnight when his son will be born. The midnight when emergency will be declared. And the emergency during which Salim Sinai and all the midnight children will be drained because of the widow. And here the widow is Indira Gandhi. And here is a description of how she feared the midnight children. I do not know if magic realism is realism, if this is history or this is reality. I do not know, or if this is just a piece of fiction. I mean, I do know this is a fiction, but magic realism made me feel like, oh my god, it can be one alternative reality, can't it? Can't it be, right? So this midnight, like, it has like so many things. So finally Salim was drained. Like, Salim was already drained. He didn't have the superpower of that telepathy thing. He lost that long ago. Then he was also sterilized. Vasectomy happened. Yeah, vasectomy is the term, I guess. And with all the people, with all the midnight children, all the remaining ones. And Shiva. Oh, by the way, Shiva. Oh, about Shiva. Shiva became a major, and Shiva fought during the 1971 war of Bangladesh freedom war, and that's how he became a major. He was a very important, and he worked like a, he betrayed the midnight children in the conquest of, like, and he helped widow take hold of all the midnight children. You will get to know once you read the book. Then the last chapter is Abracadabra. By the way, no, yes, Abracadabra. By the way, Salim had a child, and the child's name is Adam Sinai. Yes, Salim's, it is named, like, the child is named after his father's grandfather, but actually the child's father was Shiva, not Salim, because Salim said he couldn't, he was impotent. He lied, but yeah, he would become important after the sterilization. So Parvati the witch uses her magic and she goes to Shiva and she became pregnant, and then she marries Sandeep, and then they had the son Adam Sinai, who is also another child of the midnight. Adam Sinai is the midnight's child of the emergency. And yeah, that's the last chapter, and this is like, this is incredible. I couldn't even like, I don't think I did much of justice with this one, but I think I gave you a bit of idea regarding this one. Read this one, this is just the best. Okay, so that's it. It's a really long video. I crossed the limitation of 1 hour. It's 1 hour and 1 hour and 18 20 seconds, I guess. So that's it. Bye bye. I will see you later with review. Let's see when I come with my next review. Till then, bye bye. Enjoy reading, happy reading, and certainly read this one. If you love literature, history, it's like, go for it. It's beautiful. It's beautifully written. You know, I think I learned the art of writing from this one. Let's see if I can incorporate it in my life or not. But till then, bye bye. I'll see you in my next video, right?